You're listening to Best Forevers, a podcast for kindred spirits, a podcast that encourages you to love more on your friends and to further consider the issues that plague friendships. I'm Alysa Lucas, and today I'm in Lansing, Michigan with some peanut butter cookies, some pretzels, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 friends. I am here with the ladies from the podcast Mysterious Midwest. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Danielle.
Hey.
Hello.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your podcast? I mean, I know about it. I listen to it, and you should too. But there might be people who are new to it and want to hear a little bit more from you.
Well, absolutely. We just started on January 1.
Holler, Happy New Year.
Yeah, that's right.
We're
ringing in the new year like nobody's business.
Covered in glitter, releasing episodes.
Yeah. We cover all different kinds of spooky and mysterious and weird and odd.
True crime.
And abandoned places and weird people. All kinds of stuff, but all in the heartland.
All in the Midwest,
Yes.
baby.
Yes.
And I bet there's a lot of crazy crap that happens in the Midwest. I mean, I know more about true crime.
We have a spreadsheet. And we have a spreadsheet with several tabs to filter, like to put in our ideas. There's so much in it.
Yeah.
We had to
keep adding it.
Yeah, we had to separate it into categories.
Because we're both extra. So we're like, oh, did you see I added more? Yes, I did. And now we're like, well, you have to better highlight stuff to claim it. If you're doing research right now, highlight it.
Yeah, so who's doing what?
Yeah, so we have
both
different
of us aren't doing
colors.
the same thing.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. And I
neurotic.
think, OCD, no, we call it organized.
You got it.
I'm not that organized, and so I'm impressed. But, I've known Sarah for a while. Sarah, why don't you say a little something so they can distinguish voices, too?
Hi, this is Sarah.
Oh, there she is. And I met Danielle today. Hi.
Hey there, I'm Danielle.
And I met all these cute dogs and cats. Can you tell us everyone who's here with us?
Yes, we are currently surrounded by animals because I have a whole menagerie of them.
I love that word.
And I do too. So I like calling them a menagerie. We have Reed, who is a lab beagle mix, and he's my good old boy. So he's
Crush.
really sweet and a little nervous and shy. And then we have Ollie over here somewhere, probably on the other side of the curtain.
Doing some crazy shit, I'm sure.
Probably getting into some bad business. And who knows what he is.
He looks very similar to Reed, actually. I was going to ask if they're the same breed.
They are not at all. And
We're having a cat-dog fight right now.
and say Ollie is like, I think he's like a Australian Shepherd boxer mix.
Yeah.
That would be my best guess. And then the one currently getting into your bag, which he will do because he just loves to sleep in bags
he's a
and
cat,
boxes.
and it's a box, so I set myself up for that.
Yep. His name is Cosmo, and he's the newest member of our family. He joined us just in August of last year.
He's trying to get into my mic box. And now he's in my bag.
Yep, and he's only 8 months old, and he is a blast.
Yeah.
And then upstairs we have Scribbles, who is our old, I think she's 13 or 14 now, big, grumpy, fabulous kitty.
Aw. She's my kind of speed. She's just laying there like a slug.
Pretty much, that's her. And then if anybody walks by her too fast, she goes, oh.
Cosmo is all the way inside that bag.
He's like, this is my home now.
Yeah.
You might have
And
to
now
take
I
him
have
with you.
3 cats.
Yeah.
We'll see what Ferguson thinks about that. Yeah, so you might hear a little bit of cat and dog, but as I say on this podcast, these are some of our best friends, and so it's completely welcome here on Best Forevers, because how many times has
100%.
Ferguson and Rooney interrupted my podcast?
Absolutely. Say they're kind of part of the podcast family at this point.
Well,
so.
I think it's because with animals, you just can't. My doctor was like, I was talking about like, oh, I can't sleep very well. Well, your cats, you allow them in the bedroom, and I was like, Do you think that I can kick them out? You think I have that power to
Right.
kick them out?
It's funny that you think I'm a source of authority.
Yeah. This is Rooney's house. You think I can shut the door? Ferguson is going to throw himself up against the door.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this is the way it is. Now, what can we do otherwise?
You're right.
So, yes, we love animals, and hopefully most of my listeners do too.
Right.
So sorry, guys.
No, the way I say is the more the merrier.
Agreed.
But of course, it's not just here to talk about all the animals that you can't see.
Yeah.
I suppose that's true.
But I've already taken lots of pictures of the animals and we'll post because I just
very
think it's
good.
only fair that people get to celebrate the animals with us, right?
Well, yeah.
But I'm here to learn more about your friendship. And so, because that's what we do here. And I'm really excited because this is my first friendship interview in 2019.
Oh, will she?
And we're already into March. So Alysa needs to step up her game. And by Alysa, I mean me.
Not at all. Say things move at the pace they're supposed to. Is what I'm
well,
trying to
that's
tell myself.
That's lovely.
I like that.
Well, then I'm going to try to find a really cool segue here. Let's find the pace of your friendship and start
Ooh.
from the beginning. Do you like that?
I do. That was real.
Thank you. You like it, especially when I tell people I'm about to do it.
It's good. It's
That's
good
where
to
you really
announce
get the smoothness in
beforehand.
there. Yes. So, how long have you known each other? How long have you been friends?
Oh, God. Like, what, 20 years? Something
Wait,
like that.
how
If
old
not
are you?
more.
Can I
Say
ask
I'm
that?
30.
And I'm 31.
So you've known each other since you were in like elementary school?
We've
middle
known
school?
each
Yes.
other since elementary school.
Oh, I want to hear this origin story. So this is what we do on Best Forevers. I love to hear friendship's origin story, which means, did you have an initial meeting? Did you meet someone like on the first episode I talk about meeting Kate and she remembered me, but I didn't remember her?
I was just going to say, like, do you even remember?
Oh, I
Or-
do.
Okay.
Oh, I remember it
Oh,
vividly.
well,
because
Danielle,
I
you
thought
start.
Take it
you'd
away.
I thought you'd never see me again because I remembered it so vividly. We were introduced by our friend Jenny Hansen.
I knew that part.
And
for you.
Jenny was like my friend, and she was hanging out with Sarah. And she's like, "Can I bring Sarah over to camp at your house because we were going
'Cause
to camp
it's
in my
like you're
backyard?"
10.
And I was
Call
like,
back now.
and I was
I
like,
remember.
"Yes, of course, bring her. I don't know who that is, sure." And like Sarah was really shy and nice and quiet, which obviously not today.
I was going to say, Danielle could see the look on my face because I've known Sarah for not that long, well, a couple of years, maybe, mainly through Facebook and through Kate, who's
Yes.
my best friend. But one of the things is like, I don't know if I would see you as quiet and shy.
Yeah, it's not the first adjectives people use to describe me nowadays.
Not
but
anymore.
Yes.
Back then,
That has
say
changed.
I've always been an introvert, and so years of customer service has helped me.
Is that what that's supposed to do?
I can turn it on and kind of turn it off now, but when I was younger, I didn't have that, and so
Yeah.
I was a little shy. I was a little withdrawn.
Yeah.
Which is fine. She was still fun. I just wouldn't have talked to
there's
her
nothing
without
wrong
knowing
with
her
being
like
introverted.
I wouldn't have probably talked to her without Jenny bringing her to my house. So thank you, Jenny.
Exactly. Did you go to the same school?
We did.
We did.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, it was just a matter of elementary school. Like, you're in your classroom and those are the kids you know.
You're
I mean,
like,
you
this
know the other
entire
kid.
school is 20 people and your teacher.
Yeah.
That too, because we grew up in a very small town.
Right.
Like our graduating class had like 98
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
in
Wow.
it or something. So
Wow. So Jenny Hansen.
yes.
Yes.
Hi there, Jenny. She's not here. I'm just talking to the person.
Talking to the ghost.
Yeah, talking to the guy.
Yeah.
So, how did this camping night go then, Danielle?
Yeah.
Well, it went poorly. Because, okay, we stayed outside as you do when you camp, right?
Yes.
In my own backyard. We didn't
Yes.
go anywhere extravagant because we were children and that was as far as you went. As you went outside, that's how you
Yeah.
got your privacy.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember what the game was we were playing. We were all in my dad's garage because, of course, we had to get out of the tent for adventure. We
Yeah.
go into the garage and we had flashlights and we were talking and they told me there was a millipede or earwig or something on me. And at this point in my life, I was horrified of bugs.
Oh, I still, if I would have,
Yeah.
if I saw one now, I'd be like, ah!
Well, I got nude in like 3 seconds. And I was like with a person that I've never met. They were just like, it is on your neck. And they were
Yeah.
both just like away from me. And I was like, ugh! And I got nude so quick. And then I was like, mistake. Like, you don't know. I'm like, you just lost a possible friend. I'm like, you just got
Or one that you'll be friends with 20 years later and do a podcast. The whole idea of doing like camping and it's like dark out and having the flashlights feels very mysterious Midwest. Yeah, it's totally on brand.
I was so surprised when she was wanting to hang out with me again. I'm like, she laughed because she was uncomfortable, but she'll never come back. And then you came back. And I was like, we're going to be all right. And I'm like, okay.
How could I not come back? Say you served great snacks. You gave me all the Mountain Dew my heart desired.
Oh, geez. I was on point. That was on point for them.
You had a really great scrunchie collection.
I did. I like the whole back of my door in my parents' house was covered in all these homemade scrunchies, like the big clips, you know?
Yes. Well, no, I had scrunchies. I used to do this bang thing where the scrunchie was like right on top in the bang area. And I know this
did the bangs do
No. My
Okay.
bangs went back.
Oh, okay.
And I know this is a visual podcast, so people are like, we don't know what you're talking about. I'll post a picture. And I'm not uncomfortable doing it because I've already posted this on Twitter for my students because scrunchies are back.
I saw
And I was
scrunchies
like,
in the store.
Ew,
Really?
scrunchies. And they're wearing them on their wrist and everything. And I was like,
I know. I freaked out a little bit because it was at the Oscars. Jason Momoa was wearing a pink velvet suit and he had a pink velvet matching scrunchie on his wrist.
Was it for Lisa Bonet?
Oh, I think it was for his hair.
Oh,
he has,
that makes more sense.
He's got that beautiful
He
mane.
does have
You
that
think she
beautiful.
would allow a scrunchie?
Danielle, you were concerned that Sarah would never come back. And so, Sarah, my question for you is, did you want to come back? Do you remember this night and what happened?
100%. Say yes. I remember the night, of course. Say after you mentioned it, I was like, okay, there it is. I just needed the starter there.
Yeah, the little spark.
Yes, but no, absolutely. And I loved your conviction. Immediately, I was like, this is the girl I want to be around. She just took off all of her clothes in front of a stranger because there was a bug on her. And I was like, she can do anything.
It's like, that's my vibe.
That's when you're screaming and your friends say, I won't help you. Because their look of fear was like, it must have been a monster that was on me. Because they were like, nope. They got the hell away from me. And I was like, you're on your own. Defend yourself the only way you know how. Remove things where bugs can hide.
Well, I think it's
immediately when you're nude, you can go, look, where is it?
Or
and they're like,
it
it's
can
not
find
on
an
you.
orifice.
Oh, that's true.
I didn't think of that
But
at that
you
age.
were 10 or 11, so, you know, that's fine.
They said it was gone. I felt better.
They said, right? But I think it's interesting how, like, with friends that can happen, right? There's sometimes where friends are so supportive and get in there, and sometimes they're like, oh my God, that thing is happening to you. And they just watch it happen. You're like, that's so rude.
Which was apparently me at 10 or 11. So
there were no cell phones then, because I have a feeling if there were, this would have been recorded and would have gone viral.
You. No cell phones.
But also,
thank you. Nobody
11,
could take
so
a picture of
been...
my awkward 11-year-old self.
I think it would have been considered to be child pornography. So
probably not a good call.
It's probably a good thing that. So then, would you say that led you into your friendship, or were there other things that occurred, or did you just feel like, you know, we're 10, 11, and we had this fun night, we'll stay friends? Or did you eat lunch together? Like, what happened after 10?
I don't remember lunches or things. I just think we kept hanging out with each other after school. I don't think we had, like, classes together or anything.
I don't think we had classes together. Yeah, I think we just, because at that point, Danielle's family lived downtown.
Lanesburg.
And,
watch out.
Yeah. And so, like, we could just walk to her house after school, because she was, like, her house was positioned kind of right between the middle school and the elementary school.
Right.
So we just spent middle school and elementary school at her house.
Right. Yeah. I had trees and things you could get in.
Yeah, and her dad built this bomb-ass playhouse.
Right.
And her garage had, like, an upstairs loft area.
Your house sounds amazing.
It was sweet.
My dad has no chill as well. That's probably where I got this from.
That's a really good point.
Well, you mentioned having, like, good treats, or you mentioned her having good treats. What kind of treats are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, fruit roll-ups? Or
At this age, Danielle was obsessed with Mountain Dew.
Accurate.
Like, she had, like, Mountain Dew-themed clothing. and like
I
Mountain Dew themed objects.
That
she
is
had
commitment.
a Mountain Dew themed birthday party.
I did. I had a cake with a Mountain Dew bottle on it.
And there was Mountain Dew in the cake too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, that actually sounds delicious.
It was.
I thought I was gonna be the Mountain Dew spokesperson. Like there was like a thing in middle school. It was like you come to school is what you want to be, and I covered my body with cutouts of Mountain Dew labels. I have a picture of me like that somewhere. I'll see if I can find it.
It's quite incredible.
Glorious. My mother encouraged that, as you can tell. She's very proud of me.
Well, the thing about it is, don't let dreams die. I think there's still a chance, right?
So she was
Mountain
the most
Dew, they might need a sponsor.
right. Yeah. So she was the most caffeinated child in school, and I thought that was really fun to be around.
I don't feel like I was allowed to have caffeine.
I wasn't either.
So you're like, this is badass.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I need to get in on this action.
100%. It was amazing.
Mountain Dew meant danger.
Well, it seems then like hanging out and just because I think that when I think of childhood, and it might be different in 2019, but I really feel like there is that like whose house is closest, or whose house is the coolest, or that kind of thing where people sort of congregate. But how do you think your friendship changed as you went from middle school to high school? Were you still close?
Well, when you've been friends this long, say any relationship has its ups and downs, right? So like in early high school, there was a period of time where we didn't really talk because
boys.
Early high school.
Boys, things
boys.
like that. Mad at each other for but
But
little Jills.
so in high school, things did change a little bit as far as that goes. But I always knew that she was my rock. So even if I think we went it was maybe a year or so
without talking to each other.
Yeah, had some rough times.
Yeah.
Real
high
hard.
school drums.
High school drama is hard.
Yeah, it is.
High school's hard.
It is.
Right?
Being a kid is hard.
It is. I'm impressed that you were friends in middle school, because the way I see middle school, everyone's weird and ugly and awkward, and
I was weird and ugly in middle school.
we were both weird and ugly.
There's one person who has it together, and you're like, how did that happen?
Right.
Everyone else
some
is
of the
like,
pictures of these kids these days, and I'm like, well, where's your blue eyeshadow? Like,
right.
Where's your
that
ugly
roll-on body
phase,
glitter?
kid?
that body glitter. You had that body glitter game on point.
I did.
Did you wear Wet and Wild?
Oh,
like
so
the
much
blue
Wet n'
eyeshadow
Wild.
and the red lipstick.
All of it.
I didn't have red lipstick, but I had roll-on body glitter.
I
was never
glitter,
good at
glitter
lipstick.
queen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Glitter queen.
Glitter queen for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say in probably 8th and 9th grade, we drifted apart a little bit.
Yeah, happens.
But then probably by sophomore or junior year, we were back hanging out again regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay! The band's back together.
Yeah. And then we had a lot of stuff to catch up on. So
Yeah. You're like, let me tell you
Wild
about
nonsense.
freshman year.
right. I made a lot of bad choices without you around.
Right?
Where were you?
Right? A lot of stupid friends that you can't get rid of when you're like, where were you, man? Look at this idiot that's hanging out with it.
And those of you listening who are friends with Sarah and Danielle are probably Facebook friends, and you're going,
You know where
are
you
they
stand."
talking about me? Well, and that was something I was wondering. So are you still friends with Jenny Hansen that brought you two together?
I mean, yeah, but she moved away and got a cool life.
She did. Jenny is super cool. She's gorgeous. Always has been. She has
She was that girl in middle school.
She
that
was-
didn't have
she
that-
had
was down to her ass.
Barbie hair.
Yeah.
Jenny, you're beautiful. And
Slut.
she's still beautiful today, and now she has a amazing life. She lives in Maryland with her
Nice.
super attractive husband and an amazing gorgeous baby that she just had. So
She's doing very well.
Well,
We're very
good-
happy for her,
Yes.
even though we don't talk.
we talked to Jenny on Instagram.
I think I've just commented on her photos of her baby. I'm like, that baby's a pretty baby. And that's all I said.
Well, and that's the thing is friendships do change and people move away, and there were people that I knew in elementary school that I was friends with, and they moved away, and I would love to know what they're up to. And it's you have these fond memories of them, but it wasn't just something that continued because of distance or other things going on in life, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And honestly, I'm so surprised because I'm not close with anyone else from any of the grade schools, elementary, middle school, high school, anybody that we really went to school with. Well, we're just not that close to anymore.
Right.
But we stuck around for some reason. So.
Well, I was going to say, can you think of, now that you've been friends about 20 years, are there things like looking back, either if there's specific moments or just an overall feeling that certainly about your friend of what they've done for you in that time? So, Sara, in the last 20 years, is there a specific thing or maybe like a general feeling, and same for you, Danielle, that the other has done that you said she was your rock?
Absolutely.
Why? It's like one of those why questions. Tell us everything.
I can think of it right away. It might get dark for a second.
Okay. Okay.
So, sorry.
Do you need another peanut butter cookie?
Maybe. I probably do.
Do we need some Jack Daniels?
I should have poured some wine for us too, but no. Say when I was in 8th grade and 9th grade, so that time where we kind of fell apart a little bit. Say during that period of time was also the period of time where I was being diagnosed with mental illness and depression, and I was not doing super hot, and I was struggling with self-harm. And Danielle, even though we weren't close at the time, she still saw it, and she told my mom, which I hated at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I was so pissed off, right?
Yeah.
But now, looking, like, even just a couple of years from that, like, as soon as I made it out of that hole, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, that person, they're going to be around forever. They got me. Like,
shit.
We got the cookies and the drinks, but we don't have the tissue.
Should have brought some tissue.
Well, and that's amazing because I think, high school, like 9th grade, 8th, 9th grade is like 13, 14 years old. And so to make that decision, Danielle, to be like, I can tell that something is going on with Sara and I might not be able to help her, or I don't know how to help her, but I need to tell her mom. Do you remember making that decision?
Oh, 100% making that decision. I remember it completely. Because I remember I was like, what do? I can't fix this. Like, there's certain things that as a friend that you can step in and like talk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't talk that away. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, where's her mom? And I'm like, I'm going to get her mom right now. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm panicking, but I'm just going to be like, it's fine, Sara, it's fine. And I'm like, I'm going to text your mom. You're going to hate me in a sec.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry, Judy, I got to talk to you real quick.
But that's amazing. I actually have a number of students, and I've had over the years ask me, like, what do I do? And one of the things I say is, like, would you rather them be mad at you for saying something, or would you be mad that they continue to hurt themselves? And so I think, if I can toot your horn here for a second, Danielle, like that foresight or like that wherewithal to do that at such a young age, I know that it's probably something, if someone saw something as an adult, they even struggle with what to do or how to help people.
Absolutely. And that's something that I was going to say I have no idea how she came to that decision or not, and I really resented it at the time, but it was such the right thing to do, because then my mom was able to confront me about it. We were able to get me into therapy. We were able to get me on medication, and I don't know if I would be in the same spot that I am now if she hadn't done that. So,
and obviously it was okay. It turned out okay because here they are sitting together on a couch talking about their friendship.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. Now, Danielle.
Well, I don't have anything as beautiful and deep as that.
Well, I think it's beautiful and deep that, like, to think about your ability to recognize something that even people she might have been hanging out with at the time might not have seen. Or
they didn't care. They were all on drugs.
Yeah, didn't care to see. And so I think it's amazing, like, sometimes we fall in and out of friendship, but that we might still care about a person and we know them, unlike other people, that you might have been that person in that position, the only person in that position that would have been able to see and do something about it at that time. And so,
honestly, you probably were.
I appreciate the ego boost. I believe that you had lots of friends that would have been in the same position and would have done the right thing. I just happened to be the one.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they were all on drugs.
I don't believe most people are assholes. I believe a lot of people are assholes, but I don't believe most people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that age, pretty much everyone's a little bit of an asshole.
I was an asshole
right?
then as well.
Everyone, middle school is the worst, and then leading into high school, and I think people get a little bit better. It's like it's still
and middle
some
school
people
and
are
like
listening, and they're like, no, all of that is the worst.
Early aughts and things like that. I mean, it wasn't
early aughts.
That's what people say, right? Like that's the
yes,
thing.
no,
Okay.
I always think of the 1900s as aughts, but that's accurate.
That's true.
But I mean, we're in a new century.
We did it again.
We did. And I was thinking when you said early aughts, I was immediately thinking of Britney Spears. So, oops. Oh, okay, I'll stop.
You don't have to.
We encourage this.
The rest of the podcast is me singing Britney Spears
We
badly.
just take turns doing karaoke Britney Spears early 90s.
Well, we have the mics for it.
We do.
Yeah.
And a huge basement in which to do the dancing.
We do. We have plenty of space. Lots of room for activities.
Right.
Nice Step Brothers reference.
Yeah.
So what would you say then, if it wasn't something specific, is there things that you would gather over your entire friendship that has like stood out to you as Sara as your friend?
Well, I will tell you the brief story that I told at Sarah's wedding that made me realize that she was the crazy friend that I wanted. When she had more balls than I've seen any child have balls that I've encountered. We were at her parents' house. Her mother told us to go pick up dog shit in the backyard. Right?
Sounds like something my dad
What
would
you're supposed
do.
to do
It
is
was
you
my
pick up
chore.
the dog. It
poop.
was her chore. She's like, if you want to do blank, you go pick up
gotta
the
pick
shit
up
or
the dog
whatever.
shit, yep.
And her parents weren't home, but they gave this chore
Yep.
for Sarah to do before we could do whatever it was we were supposed to be doing. So we were supposed to be picking it up and putting it in a bag, but Sarah was like, just launch it over the fence. So I was like, okay. And so we were launching the shit over the fence, and one of us hit the house, the neighbor's house, and it was very funny. And
Okay.
so we're like...
Background, real quick. The neighbor was a huge bitch. They were terrible people. They would call the cops on our dogs for barking all the time when they weren't.
Oh.
Like, we would be home and know that they weren't barking, and then the cops would come to our house, and finally the cops were like, you guys got to figure something out between you two. Like, so there was
Before this
reason
becomes
for
an episode of
animosity.
Fear Thy Neighbor
Yeah,
on
there was
Investigation
reasons
Discovery.
for animosity to the neighbor. I don't just, even as a child, I don't just throw shit at people's houses.
She's on record, folks.
Well, I'll have you know, it was a fun game. We both were launching and hitting the house as hard as we could. We were both launching shit at the neighbor's house. Well, little did we know the neighbor was home.
Oh,
So-
no.
This very angry woman came outside and was like, hey, she's like, I see what you're doing, you know? And she's like, I'm going to call the cops. And at this point, scared me. Is like, run away, run. And Sarah said, go ahead and call the fucking cops. And I was like, I remember I looked at her and I felt my whole body just like cave in. I was like, no.
What are you doing?
I just looked at her and I thought I was going to cry. I was like, no, you never say
white.
call the cops. I was just like, no. And then I was like, what are you doing? And you're like, I don't know. And I was just like, oh no. And the woman went inside and she called the cops. And we're like, her parents came home and the cops showed up. It was a situation, but I was like, that girl's got such big balls. And I was like, I like that girl. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, she looked danger right in the eyes and was like, whatever, come at me.
And then immediately was like, what have I done?
I've made a horrible
immediate
mistake.
Fear, and yours was so delayed. You were just like, it is like you looked at that lady and yelled like you were waiting for it. And I'm like, no, like we were supposed to be doing this and she wasn't supposed to be home. Like I was like, I didn't know we were like gonna have to deal with this. Like, I thought it
Sarah,
was
you
just
forgot
a fun-
to tell Danielle the plan.
I was winging it. That's what I've been doing my entire life.
I was going to say, this is a great story because I feel like Danielle, I would have been you like, no, stop. I am such a rule follower. I probably would have been like, I'm not going to throw dog shit. Your mom said we had to pick up the dog shit or we couldn't do blank.
See, that's the thing is I was never that person. I was always the one that was like, I don't care. I'm not
Always.
afraid of nothing. I'm not afraid of nothing.
Until
but then
the
like
lady
when
comes
somebody
out.
says they're going to call the cops, now I'm going to be like, okay, I am really afraid. But like she's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, whoa. It's like that's a new level of badassery that I hadn't experienced. I was like, oh my gosh, my bluff has been called and I'm so afraid. I'm like,
That's truly what it is. The bluff has been called. And you're like, what? You're still going on it.
You're like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? She was like, I just told you, I'm gonna call the fucking cops. And, like,
Were you listening?
Like,
So
I actually think that was the incident where the cop was like, you guys gotta just figure something out.
I'm tired of coming here.
And then after that, I was like in a total panic because I was like, I'm gonna get arrested. I'm gonna go to jail. How much time do you go to jail for throwing dog shit? Like,
Probably longer than most people go to jail for the things they should go to jail for. Let's just say that.
Right.
Well, so I'm sure, much like listeners at home, do want to know what the outcome of the story was. Did you get arrested? Was it a misdemeanor?
my record remains clear.
Oh, excellent.
And I got to dodge the bullet completely because her mother was so ashamed of me, they brought me home. They were like, get out of here. You have to go home.
Yep.
So
they took her home.
They took me home so quick. And I was
like, grounded for a very long time.
I was very blessed to go home and feel the shame deep within. I was like, oh my God. It's like I almost went to jail. I wonder if Sarah's in jail.
You're in your shame jail in your room at home.
Oh, and I don't think your mother told my parents either. They never knew about the shit flinging.
I think so we were also raised Catholic, so shame runs deep within our blood. So I think my mom
You were
was
literally
so
in shame jail. Oh, everyone was in shame jail. Giving each other sentences.
So ashamed. She probably didn't want to tell your mom because it was so shameful for her to be raising a child who was dog shit.
The thing is, if she would have told my mother would have been like, that was probably Danielle's idea. Because my mom knows who I am. Yeah. She'd be like, it was clearly a dumb idea on her part, probably. Like,
see, I think you're both great, but if I was the third friend, I'd be the one that would have cried and left for home already. And then Monday at school, I've been like, well, I told you so. Right. I follow the rules. You're grounded. I've never been grounded. I was grounded.
You've never been grounded?
Nope.
I spent the entirety of my childhood grounded. For whatever reason.
Yeah, I did. I feel like I spent a lot of time in trouble for things on the internet or things
we got in trouble on the early internet.
Oh yeah, see, the internet didn't exist until I was it existed, but I didn't have my first email until I was a first year student in college, right?
We grew up in the age of chat rooms.
Yes. Oh, you were the AIM generation.
We were the AIM generation.
Do you remember what your names were on AIM?
My very first AIM screen name was, it sounds so naughty now, Spice 88, but it was because I liked the Spice Girls.
Mine was intentionally naughty, and it was Sunny Girl 69. Something I had never done, but I was like,
Did you know what it meant, though?
I was trying to send a message to all the men on the internet as a 13-year-old. Sorry about it, Mom. Didn't work.
See, this is the thing. I don't know how people are parents to children who have to use the internet and have cell phones and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Like, my parents didn't have to deal with that at all. And I asked them what they thought about that. And my dad was just like this last week. And my dad was like, I'm so glad we didn't have that. Because, oh my God.
I mean,
that
even then, say
enough.
the access we had then too was so limited compared to what you have now, right?
Yeah.
Like, we had the one computer in the house, and we would both be hovered around it in the computer room because you had a computer room at that time. And we would be sitting at it in the dark, and we'd close the door, but not all the way because we didn't want to look too suspicious.
Right.
And then, we have to...
You really thought about it.
Oh, yeah. And then, you have to sign on to AOL, so that takes like 35 minutes.
Yeah, and the phone line's now taken up, so everybody knows you're on the internet.
Right.
Yeah, how do you do...
If anybody picks up the phone, they know that you're on the internet, so you got to be able to get off quick.
And they probably didn't know how to check history then either.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
Because I can only imagine.
I didn't even know if that was the thing then.
I have
Man,
no
if we
idea.
would have known that was a thing then, we would have been a lot more careful.
Man, I gotta tell you, I think I was grounded once, and it was, I slammed the door and a picture of my Aunt Carol fell down the stairs and broke, and my mom sent me to my room, and I was like, I'm already here. And sorry about that, Aunt Carol. It just happened to be your picture was in a spot where when my door closed with the force of my teenager self,
your teen angst.
My teen angst made your frame fall off the wall and fall down the stairs, and doesn't indicate how I think about you or how I feel about you, Aunt Carol. But that's about as much trouble as you're gonna find in Alysa's childhood. Any other trouble you two got into?
I was never arrested. My mom was proud of that.
My mom was also proud that I was never... We had bad big brothers.
Yeah. Oh, so by the time it got to you, you knew what
we were
to
solid.
do. Yeah. You're good.
That's what my mother said she was the proudest of. She's like, I had bail money prepared for you to go to jail. And she's like, you never went. She's like, I'm so proud of you.
And you're like, how are we going to spend that money now?
You're like, does that go to college or something?
Yeah.
Dinner? Going weekend away? So are there any other stories that really reflect your friendship over 20 years besides the dog shit throwing?
Oh, I guarantee there are. Oh, okay. So you remember, I couldn't tell you what year it was when Jackass started.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
But
yeah.
obviously, pretty much everyone is familiar with Jackass. Well, we really liked that. But we were
ambitious.
We were ambitious, but we also realized that we were wimps. So, like, we didn't want to, like, hurt ourselves, but we wanted to be stupid on camera. So we would very often make these videos that we called Dumbass instead of Jackass. And we would do just various ridiculously idiotic things. We would put on, like, all the clothes in our house and then, like, sumo wrestle and push each other down hills.
Throw ourselves down my parents' stairs.
Yeah.
Wait, do we still have these videos?
Oh, I do.
Hope not.
I was going to say, sounds
no.
like
But they're
Best Forever's going to have a hot week of
They're
promos.
they're on those. You remember those cameras that came out right after the VHS video cameras, the big ones that you'd put on your shoulder that had, like, the mini tapes?
Yes.
Say that were like that. They're all on these big chunky tapes like this. So I have no idea how to play them or get them, but
we'll put it over on something else for
I
you.
guarantee, but they still exist even if we can't view them.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know they existed anymore. I had mine on a regular VHS, and then, like, when I felt the shame about it later, like when I was in high school, it's like, these have to fucking die. So I destroyed them. I was like, this can't, nobody can see what we did.
It was very not cool.
It was a lot of throwing ourselves down the stairs with my mom standing at the end of the stairs watching.
Just, like, looking completely exhausted and exasperated. And or I was, like, making, like, dumb prank phone calls. Or, like, it was all, like, just really dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But
have you phased out of that era?
yes, I would say that we've successfully.
I mean, I wouldn't say we've got
past.
out of that, really. Like, we, like, stopped throwing ourselves downstairs. We stopped doing that.
I was gonna say, when was the last time you went downstairs in a laundry basket?
That's true, but I can't fit in a laundry basket now.
I bet you could if you tried.
I mean,
how many clothes do you have? Go get them.
I mean, we have stairs right here.
These have cement at the end, though.
Oh, that's true.
See,
got
we
some
think
pillows.
of these things.
Yeah, when you were younger, you probably wouldn't have thought about those things.
We did, actually.
Oh, good. Because you were wimps.
We did it more than once. We learned pretty quickly. We're like, that hurt. We need more padding.
We were all talk. That's what
I was
we
going to
were.
say.
Yeah.
This is what I gather from Dumbass and Dog Shit is that you talk the talk and you don't walk the walk.
She did. She walked the damn walk. I ran home.
But then there was a moment of realization when then you put yourself in shame jail when you were grounded.
100%. So there's definitely, it was pretty much immediately after I swore at the neighbor lady that I was like, what have I done? Like, so, I mean.
Probably just one look at me was like, oh, I've made a mistake. So I'm like,
You know, this makes me think of something that I talk about in classes and I've done research on. And so you don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
I am an open book.
we'll probably answer it.
But I love this because it's a question that people are asked a lot of times. And people who are younger don't know how to answer the question. They usually say there's none, right? So you're 30, 31. What are some regrets in your life? Like, do you regret dog shit or dumbass or anything else that you did? Or is it like, hey, that's how I became me and that's how we became the we, you know?
For me, it definitely leans toward the second thing. As far as, like, those things, I don't feel regret about that at all. I did some other things that were much dumber. That those hold a little bit more regret. And I don't even know if I'd call it like a full regret, though. Yeah. It's like a lean into it regret a little bit. Like, because at the same time, like you said, all of those things made me the person that I am today. So not like too much regret.
My regret is just like some assholery I was. Like some rude shit I'd say to either her or whatever that like, you know, just because you're like trying to be cool, you like say shit and you're like, yeah, I'm the cool one here. But now you look at it years later and you're like, dude, you're such a prick. Why didn't anybody punch you? Like
some of that. That's very true.
And I'm like, nobody threw it. If I would have got one punch, I would have probably stopped. Like,
just one sock to the face.
I was like,
That's all it took.
I'm like, older me is like, somebody should have punched me. But I'm like,
The thing is, for me, because I was so rules based, I think even someone saying that they were going to punch me, I'd be like, okay, I'm ship shape. I'm
whatever you need, man.
whatever you need. Done. Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting to think about like what people regret, and that usually though you reflect on that for your entire life for a certain amount of times, but when you're 13, you don't regret shit.
No.
Not even when you're in shame jail, you're still like...
Well, right, especially when you're trying to be a badass.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I regret nothing. Like, that's what it is. We meant this.
Would you say that you two are still badasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How...
Look at us.
Are you kidding?
That was a great reaction. It was like immediate, and the looks on their faces were like badass. So how would you define badass at 30 and 31 to your 13-year-old selves? Like, what would you tell your 13-year-old self? This is what it means to be badass.
My feelings of badass have changed so much. I guess that's why I can still call myself badass, is because my definition has changed so much.
Great.
Yes.
Like, I think it's pretty badass when I get groceries for the week. Like, I think it's pretty badass when I remember to take my meds. Like, I think
You're
like look
gold
at me.
star for this badass.
Self-care.
I so get that because I feel badass every time I buy kale. I'm like, I fucking bought this.
Yes.
Nobody told me to buy this, and I keep buying it every week, and I'm actually fucking eating it.
Like when you make like a
I'm
good
just
meal
throwing it
or
out.
something. Absolutely.
I'm like, nobody
that's
told me to
so
do this.
badass.
I did this all on my own.
Meds
Now
and
what?
kale, badass.
Or like if something like weird happens with one of the animals, or like kind of like tragic in some way, like say Ollie's an asshole. Say he's so nice. He's the nicest
cutest dog
to people ever. He loves people. He loves kids, but he doesn't like other dogs.
Oh.
So he can be a really big jerk. So every time he has an issue and I get past it, I'm always like, oh, I handled that. And if I handled it and like my husband wasn't here or anything, then I'm like, I got this shit. Or,
Take that, Ollie.
Yeah,
I got
like-
this shit on lockdown.
because
Who runs this house? Not Ollie. I do.
Wait, let's go back to the first moment of this episode where we talked about that acting like we have any point of authority with animals.
it's really true. And the funny thing is
I finally stood up to Ollie.
so when you stand up to him, it's kind of like standing up to a bully a little bit. Like, because like Reed, he's very much a mama's boy, as you can see. He's right here.
Yeah.
Say he's very much attached to me, and he listens to me and only me. And Ollie, say he just listens to my husband Jared. It's like Jared's loud and tall and big, so he can like listen to him, but he just has no care what I do.
So when you got it, you're like, got that shit today.
Yeah, handled that.
Bad.
Like what are some other things that are badass now?
I like it though. You're like Harry Washington on Scandal. Handled.
Right?
Olivia Pope's that. Yeah, what are some other badass things besides kale?
Yeah.
What are some badass things you
I
do
go to
together?
the gym in the morning.
You go to the
like a psycho.
Oh my God, Danielle is the most badass. This girl, no, seriously. Say that is the most badass thing that either one of us or anyone I know does.
Yeah.
Is not only, she says she goes to the gym. That's bullshit. She fucking competes in weightlifting and she is
I see.
amazing.
Thank you.
Is that the tattoo I see?
Yeah, it's from a podcast.
Oh,
last
last
podcast on the left. But
Hail
it's
yourself.
because I
Yeah.
competed in something I thought I wouldn't do. So I
That's
got my powerlifting thing.
amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, like, if 10 years ago, if you would have been like, you're going to be a person that goes to the gym, I would have laughed while drinking my Mountain Dew and flipped you off. Because I'd be like,
forgot about the Mountain Dew.
I'd be like,
already.
don't tell me shit. Like, that ain't going nowhere. Like, I'm not a fitness individual. Like,
Yeah.
I pretended in high school because, I don't know,
Yeah.
it seemed like a thing to do. You joined soccer or,
Yeah.
know, or volleyball or
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes
so
it's just like, how do people get into stuff, right? And so it's like when you're a kid, you might be forced or placed or feel like you have to do something, and then you found this in some other fashion. And I think you said that like we were a badass at this time, but that definition has changed, and it's like regretting doing some of these things like assholes. It's really just truly like figuring out who you are.
Yes.
And that hail yourself tattoo on your arm is who you are, right? Like that's amazing.
I try.
Well, hail yourself.
Absolutely. Say she's fucking amazing.
Well, thank you. I'm trying. Fake it till you make it or something, right?
Yes, that's exactly. I actually told my students that
yep.
last night.
That's literally all I
Fake
do.
your confidence until you
every
make
day.
that confidence.
That's what I keep doing. I'm like, I'm just going to keep pretending I know what I'm doing.
You literally just described my career.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us about that because, I obviously met you today, Danielle, and so that's really cool to learn about all the things that you're doing. And some of the ways that I've met you, Sara, is through your business.
Yes. So I have a day job, but by night, I am an illustrator and letterer. And I have a small business called Dear Ollie that I started in 2014, named after the very Ollie that I was just talking about.
Did he bully you into making you name the business after him?
He did. He bullied me. No, I do stationery and paper goods, and I have a line of cards that I was very much trying to work out of the box with. I wanted cards that you'd actually want to give somebody, right? Like, so they're a little bit snarky, they're a little bit weird, sometimes they're a little bit rude, but mostly underneath it all, they're very sweet. And that is Ollie to a T. And you can maybe hear him crunching.
He's chewing on a bone right now.
Yeah, they got some bones, so he's occupado. But
Well, and that's where I think Kate got me something from yours, and I think from your store. So I think that's where I first learned about you, and I send those cards to everyone. They're great.
thank you.
And actually, to give a shout out to these ladies and to Sara, this week I'll be giving away a set of Golden Girl stickers that Sara put together.
Hell yes! I'm so excited. I love those stickers. They're so much fun.
Yeah. And so I'll give you more details later about what you have to do to get those stickers.
Yeah, work for it.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something.
Gotta
Something
work,
friendship-wise, probably.
For it.
Maybe tell us your badassery
There
from
you
childhood
go. What
to
makes
adult.
you badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it sounds like you do a lot of badass things, and that brought you to doing badass things together.
Yes.
So how did you decide to do the podcast together? How did that come about?
Well, we started, listening and getting really into podcasts probably 3 years ago or so.
3 years ago.
And we've always joked because we've always watched a ton of reality TV, and when we were watching that, we were always like, we should have our own show.
Right.
That's what
we're way funnier than
we're
these
way
bitches.
better. than these people. And so then when we started listening to podcasts, it was very natural that we were like, we need our own podcast.
Yeah.
We should definitely do this. And so it was always something that we kind of mentioned in passing.
Yeah.
But for me, it was something, I don't know about you, but for me, it was something I really wanted to make happen. And so finally, last year I recently I've been at my job for 2 years. I cut down working from full-time and I went to part-time. So over the last 2 years, I've kind of been able to manage my schedule a little bit better and things like that. And I thought, you know what? We need to make this happen. So I think I literally just we went out to lunch one day and I was like, so you want to start a podcast, right? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, we're going to do that, I think.
I like that. I feel like when I asked this question of podcasters who are friends when they come on, it was just she said, do you want to do this? And I was like, yep, lead the way.
That's literally what it was. We've joked about it ever since we've been listening to different podcasts. And I've never looked into it too much, but she was like, hey, so you want to do that for real? And I'm like, yeah. But I'm like, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I'll say yes to that because I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then because
it happened.
we're both crazy people,
No, you're badass.
Made
it
it
happen.
Yeah, we are. But when we start something, we both go a little crazy. We go in at 110%, and
right.
So
yeah,
we went at it a little hard, maybe. But
well, we got sort of a preview of what it is to work together. We went on this road trip together.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about
last
this
fall.
road trip.
this road trip was awesome.
When we decided we're going to do a road trip, the spreadsheets appeared. We had spreadsheets of this is how much it's going to cost per person to do this, and then we should stay at this place, and these are the Airbnbs that are cool here, and this is how much it costs per person here, and then this is a destination that's only 20 minutes out of the way, and then there was a map, and then we're both just tagging things, and I'm like, we're organized.
We had a
as
route
fuck.
planned, and
I'm exhausted.
I love it so much.
Me too, and that's how I am.
Yeah.
No shame against my husband. Every time we planned anywhere, he probably won't know where we are if we're just getting on the plane. He's like, he doesn't have a clue of like what the buildings look like we're going into.
Yeah.
Like I might be like, want to see the Airbnb, and he'll humor me and be like, sure. But he doesn't really give a shit.
It's like, do we have it? Okay.
Yeah. And like, he doesn't know where we're going half the time.
Yeah.
So like when her and I like made a decision to do something, we both have ideas. And so we just put them into spreadsheets, and it was cool. We're like, oh, wow, it's like so nice to not have to do it all on my own. I was like, all this stuff is appearing in the spreadsheet that I didn't find. And there are things I'm interested in. And I'm like, oh,
same.
Cool.
And I was like, that's incredible. And
like, you need to share your organizational systems with other people.
just Google Sheets, a lot of Google Sheets.
Yeah, man. Google is where it's at. It's got all the things.
We organize everything for the podcast on Google Drive. And well, see, that's not the first time we've traveled together, though.
No.
Like, we've traveled together, obviously, a couple other times, but that was the biggest trip that we did together.
That was a lot more organizing.
It had to be organized because we had this insane idea that we were going to see the entirety of the Southwest in 10 days. And
did you make it happen?
We made it happen.
Holy shit!
I don't know, it wasn't the entirety.
Right. We don't fucking play. When we say we're gonna do something, we're like, we're doing it. You can tell me nothing.
But we did, and oh my god, it was an exhausting vacation. But I would not have traded it in for the world.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
and like looking back, like it feels like part of that was like a movie or something. Like
right, maybe it should be.
We like all the photos. You're like, how is this all like in a matter of just a little over a week? You're like, this had to be a long time. Like, look at all these photos. And like, it was thousands. Like,
do you both take photos?
Yes. Okay. So like, it was many on my phone and many on hers. We're like, share. So like, both of us are like sending them to each other. I have the ones that I thought were worth keeping. Is what, like 1,100?
Yeah, I have it's a folder on my phone.
Yeah, I have a folder on my phone that's like 1,100 photos that I saved that were the good ones, that were not like somebody looking away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was paring down, and I have 1,439.
Wow. She thought 339 were better than you did.
Right. She probably kept some that I was like, nope, I look stupid. I'm like, delete.
And she's like, I want to remember this forever.
Probably. Sometimes I hoard things.
Well, it sounds like you've done a lot together, starting with camping and allowing her to be attacked by a millipede or an earwig or whatever the hell that was.
I got her back now against bugs, so I feel like it's fair.
You made it through middle school. You made it through high school. You made it through all these trips, and now podcasting. I do have to ask, though, what is it like to podcast with each other?
It's awesome, in my opinion.
It's just like the trip thing. Like, I know that she's gonna do her part.
Yeah.
And I do my part.
Same.
And it's nice to know, like, I don't have to be like, hey, you're doing the thing, right, that you're supposed to be. I don't have to, because she'll show up with this beautiful thing, and I'm like, tell me about it.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I pitched her the concept, it also kind of evolved very naturally too, because with Dear Ollie, I travel around the Midwest a lot to go to different trade shows and things like that. So I'm always in Ohio or Illinois or Indiana or Wisconsin, or, like pretty much if it's within an 8-hour radius, it's fair game.
Yeah.
And a lot of times Danielle comes with me.
That's cool.
So
all these road trips, I love it.
Yeah, we are big into road trips. Yeah, we really like them.
We vacation together a lot.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Tara do too, but I think you're two Taras, and then Tara only has one Tara, because I am more like your husband, Danielle. However, I am the person, we have our tasks. She's very organized, and she does like the navigation, and I'm like, oh, we need to do this thing. Picture. So,
you know your assignment.
Social media. Hi, I'm a social media coordinator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just have two Taras here. That's all.
So,
a Sarah and
So because we kind of go, and generally when we go, we look for weird shit. Like, it's always been our thing. Like, we're like, what weird abandoned places are around here?
And like, how likely are we to get arrested? Yeah. Like, can we, like, which just doesn't
how
mean
likely
it's
is
out.
that lady going to come out of the house and tell us to stop throwing shit at it?
Right.
So I guess we're just at a different level of throwing shit now.
Yeah, we do different. We don't like do things to harm other people or their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and no, we were very respectful.
We're past that. We don't
vandalize or anything like that.
Yeah, and I've noticed that by listening to your podcast, very respectful of the people and the places and the things that you're talking about and the issues you're talking about. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it just kind of worked. And I was like, hey, what if we just did a podcast about those things? And
well, I think what's really neat is that, and I don't know if I've listened to the episode yet, but I saw the pictures on Instagram that you are goading. Well, I think one of the things that's unique about your podcast, other than the location, right? Because sometimes people will do the entire world, right? Or they do these areas, and it's like, no, let's give respect to the Midwest, right?
Yes,
where everyone is from, right? And then they go to
pretty
LA
much,
or New York.
yeah, and then they leave,
and then they leave. But one thing that really stands out to me is the idea of going to the places and documenting it and doing the things, and it's almost like a field trip podcast in some ways when you do those things, and I think that's really neat.
Very much. Say we had an episode that we did on Midwest Vikings that was really fun.
That's the one I haven't listened to, but I saw all the pictures.
We went to the Nordic Fire Festival that was here, and say Danielle did our second episode was on the Nain Rouge,
which
and
is next week. Next weekend.
No, 24th, whenever the 24th is. It's the March to Nain Rouge in Detroit, and so we'll be doing that. And she booked us a trip to go to Cryptid Con.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Which I'm so excited about. So that'll be in September.
Excited. Yeah. The more stuff like that we do episodes on, the more I'm realizing like some of these like people or writers are at CryptidCon.
Yes.
So it's like building it onto this platform for me. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like you're building a network and making connections, and you'll find more people to have on the podcast.
If we get to meet Linda Godfrey.
If we can get anywhere near her.
I would love to have Linda Godfrey on our podcast. So she's let's get
that hashtag going on Twitter.
Right. She's an amazing author. And she's our cryptid queen.
I just hope she's not offended by us because we keep saying, my girl Linda. Like, we keep tossing about Linda. And I'm like, if we're, like, too sweary for her, she's probably like, stop singing my name. Because we keep bringing her up.
You don't want to be associated with these
like, we bring her up so much. And I'm like, if she doesn't like us, it's a bummer. Because, like, we talk about her a lot. Yeah. So I'm like,
well, we'll see what we can do. Let's get a little Cryptid Queen campaign going.
Yeah.
Hashtag Cryptid Queen.
So, that'll be fun.
Yeah, do you have any upcoming things that you want to share? Or are you keeping some things under wrap?
We kind of like to keep it under wraps.
I like that too. Like anticipate.
Yeah. Well, we even do it from each other to a certain extent.
We do.
Because we want it to... to me, podcasts always feel more authentic when you're having a conversation with somebody and they're experiencing it real time, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I know for me, one of the goals of our podcast to begin was I wanted it to feel like you were just hanging out with us.
Yeah.
That we were just chilling.
Right. Natural conversation, not like
scripted.
I say something, she says something. I say something, she says something.
Right.
Yeah.
Just let it flow.
And so when we do our episodes, like we might say like what the episode is about to the other one, or like we'll see the title in the drive, but we don't open it and we don't look at it, you know?
You're
so
like, let me
none
wait.
of us, we don't know the story. Yeah. So we can it kind of gets revealed to whoever isn't telling the story at the same time. Yeah. Sweet boy.
I know. I got a puppy Reed here with his head on my leg.
Very cute.
I might be going back with one of your animals back to Mount Pleasant.
I have a few to spare.
Yeah, you do. Although I don't think my cats would appreciate it.
Probably not.
So it sounds though like for those people who listen to your podcast or those who are discovering it now have lots of things to look forward to. They just are going to have to anticipate. But a lot of it sounds like there's like field trips coming up or different things that you'll be sharing and people coming on the podcast and more weird, abandoned, strange, true crimey, cryptid stuff.
Yes,
definitely.
Did I miss anything?
100%. And like you said, we have got a lot of really cool field trips booked that we're really excited to talk about. And we're also looking forward to having a few guests on the podcast, which isn't something we've done yet. But it's
hashtag Cryptid Queen.
Yes, I guess we kind of just mentioned it with hashtag Cryptid Queen. But so we have some local people who are interested in having on, awesome. And all things to do with just kind of spooky and weirdness. So
I think that, and by putting this out here, I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but I think it'd be cool do you know when your friendiversary is?
Oh my gosh, no.
Do you know, is it summer? You have no idea.
It was warm.
We were camping, so it wasn't winter.
Summer, probably.
Maybe you can pick a day in the summer that you choose to be your friendiversary, and then you can celebrate your friendship. And you should do a podcast episode where you tell each other camp ghost stories to relive.
That's so cute. I love it.
And
That's a good idea.
That's a really good. She's got the good ideas.
You are
man.
so smart.
Thank you. She's all about it. She's on it. No,
I
that's
think it'd be
brilliant.
fun. And also, side note, have you talked to Kate Cosgrove's mom about the ghost in their house?
I have not. But
Okay, get that.
I
Email
know.
us.
I know that one's on the list.
It's scary as shit.
I feel like such a stalker because I feel like every podcast I'm on, I talk about Kate.
Kate's pretty amazing.
Kate's just really amazing.
Yeah, she's been on several of the episodes. She's my best friend. She was on the first episode. She created all the art for Best Forevers, all my stickers, my swag, everything.
She's
And
an
so,
amazing human and
just
an incredible artist.
one of my favorite people of all time.
Understandably so.
I was recently on a podcast and they asked me questions about what I would want to bring with me if I went to a desert island, and one of them is like, who'd you bring as a person? I was like, Kate Cosgrove. And I think I was telling them and some other people about it, and other people were like mentioning like famous people, and I was like, well, I said Kate.
To be fair, Kate's like a famous person.
There are a lot of people. She has a lot of fans.
She does.
Our mom,
I'm one of them.
Sarah. So one of the ways that I like to wrap up the conversations with best friends is to ask overall what the other person has meant to you in your life. And I know that it's kind of like on a serious but also heartwarming, we should have brought tissue moment. But just a little something, what does, one of the things that I wanted to start doing with my podcast, and I haven't been able to get it to, it's kind of like fetch. I can't make fetch happen, if you will.
Yeah. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
So I do it in my interviews, but I haven't had people write in to me letters, and it's called Dear Friend. Like, Dear Friend, this is what you mean to me. And I've had a couple people do it, and so people get on it. I have a link. I want like a Dear Friend letter. So if you did a 20-second Dear Friend oral letter, what would it sound like?
It's nice to have a friend that is literally always there for you. Like, we'll do the weird fuckery that you want to do. Like, no shade at my husband again. No shade. Love you.
I was here first.
He's great and
Let
all.
him know.
But when I say some crazy idea, she will mirror the enthusiasm. She'll be like, yes, let's do this. Like, I could say something amazing to him, like, we want a trip to go around the world. And he'd be like, cool. That would be it. There would be no yay. And she would be like, whoa, let's do this and this and this. Like, she'd mirror the excitement and make it bigger.
Yeah.
So,
you want to throw shit at someone's house?
Right, exactly. Like, I know that she'd immediately be just as excited, if not more, and bring the excitement up.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have somebody that, like, gets you.
We're
like
definitely each other's hype girls.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like,
Yeah, we all
for
need hype
sure.
people. And I know you said, like, that's not heartwarming, but I think it is. Like, it's one of those things, like, you called Danielle your rock at the beginning, and that's what you just described here, right? Like, and even talking about your spreadsheets, you're like, I don't have to ask her. I know she's going to do it. I know she's going to do it. And that reliability is probably one of the best feelings in the entire world.
That's so
to have
important.
someone who is reliably going to be excited and doing what they need to do. Like, that's like,
And and that's literally one of the things that I was thinking too, because my husband is the same way. And I get all excited and I get all these big ideas, and then I tell him, and he's like, "Oh, well, that wouldn't really work out because this and this and this." And I'm just
you're
like,
like,
"Fuck
listen,
you."
devil's advocate, why don't you have a
But if I tell her,
You got your hype
sometimes
girl.
we can actually make shit happen too, because
Right.
we just do it.
Right. We're like, well, we're going to go at it. And if it doesn't work out, we'll find out together. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. We'll
And
figure
it's
it
just
out.
another journey together. You're on the road trip of life together, and I love it.
I love it.
And I can't wait to see all the photos.
So romantic. I like that.
Road trip of life.
We do take a lot better photos together than I've ever taken with my husband as well.
Also true.
And I'm like, you know how I feel like how men
We
get.
know
They get
angles.
moody after like 2 or 3. They're like, really? Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna keep doing this? I'm like, I didn't look as cute as I did that one, and you looked stupid. Like, I'm trying to make sure you look good too.
So get it together.
And I'm like, her and I, we can just keep. We're like, we'll just keep going. We need different lighting, different angles.
Well, and that's been ingrained in us since way before the days of camera phones.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we my parents had this digital camera
that
was like a box.
Yeah.
And it was like this big. And it was like
It's
a big
bigger than her
silver
head.
box. Yeah. Yeah, say it's about probably like 8 inches or
The
so.
size of a VHS tape.
Yes.
About the size of a VHS tape, yes.
Yeah.
And we, as young, blossoming women, would take pictures of each other. And so we would be in the basement, so we learned all about lighting in our angles.
I've been watching America's Next
So
Top
much
Model.
eyeliner.
Yes, so much eyeliner. So much eyeliner, so many fishnet stockings.
Yeah, we have
So-
a lot of photos of each other that we shouldn't share.
Yep.
And we won't.
We won't.
Yeah, so
Those
sorry,
are
that's
those.
not going to make the promos lit this week.
Yeah. We'll share some other stuff that are
Yeah,
nice,
for
but
sure.
not those.
For my dear friend, say since you took that, I'm gonna say, dear friend, thanks for making it easy. This is
That's true. That's good.
the easiest relationship in my life, like ever. Like I know that she, like, I know that we talked about how like we kind of fell in and out a little bit and everything like that, but as adults, this relationship is just so unbelievably easy because we know. I mean, now we see each other like every week because we have to record.
Yeah.
But
You mean want to record, right?
yeah,
Just kidding.
because we are recording. But like prior to that, like we know that we have lives. If we don't talk to each other every day or every week, we don't see each other that often. It doesn't mean that we don't love each other and that we aren't always going to be there for each other. Like there's no doubt. It's just easy. I don't have to make up excuses. If she's like, hey, you want to come over and do this thing? I can be like, no, man, I already took my pants off.
And it's a thing we've said
And
often. Like,
and she's like, get it. Like
that's accurate. Like,
Yeah.
I remember laughing at a friend in like elementary school that told me that, or middle school. She told me that she couldn't hang out with me because she just got done eating chicken. Sorry about it, Rachel. I'm saying it. Because I remember I was like, what kind of shit is that? And now, like, as an adult, I totally get it. And we say that to each other often. We're like, dude, man, I'm watching The Bachelor right now. Can't you just
I ate
watch
my
it
kale.
at your house?
yeah.
I owned Ollie a minute ago. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm living in the glory of life.
right.
It's just easy. And I don't have not much in life is easy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, I think.
I think it's pretty cool for me as someone who loves and adores and lives, breathes friendship. One of the things is, having all these people on and talk to them about their friendships. These are not words that people have used to describe their friendship, but I think the word reliable and easy are some of the most meaningful words that I've heard from people talking on the podcast, because I think it truly means something, right?
Yeah,
like
it
this
does.
idea is of having someone you know is always going to be there and knowing that you're not going to have the high school drums, right?
Right.
And so I think that for people that might be like, oh, those words? No, those words mean a lot. Reliable,
really
and easy,
do.
easy, breedy, beautiful. I've been watching so much America's Next Top Model.
All of it. No,
Easy
say
breezy.
100%.
That makes sense with all the eyeliner in our life, too. That Maybelline. That cover girl lifestyle.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's the Mountain Dew. No, I'm
Maybe
just
it's Mountain Dew.
Right?
Well, it's been so great to get to know your friendship, right? And to meet you, Danielle, and to know a little bit more about you, Sarah, by talking to you. And so I'm so glad that you were able to come. Well, I've come to you, but I come to where
you.
people are. Yeah.
Right.
But it's been so great to talk to you and talk about your friendship. And so for those that want to hear more from you, where can they find you online for Mysterious Midwest?
Well, Sarah, tell them the hashtags. I'll tell them we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram.
We do.
Sarah,
we have,
tell them how to find
We
us.
have all of those things. And first and foremost, we have a website. So if you go to
That's important.
mysteriousmidwestpod.com.
Nice.
So you can find all of our stuff there. It's got a list of all the places where we're at and all of that good stuff. We're on Facebook at Mysterious Midwest, Instagram at Mysterious Midwest, and Twitter at Mist Midwest.
Ooh,
MYST.
it's a little mysterious on
They
Twitter.
when mysterious is too long.
Damn them and their characters. Well, thank you so much for being on Best Forevers. It means a lot.
Thank you so much for having us.
course.
We were really looking forward to this.
Yay!
It's been really fun. You
Friendship
do
talk is the
amazing
best.
stuff.
Ollie, do you want to talk to people? Ollie, come on.
Allie, Allie, what do you need? He's like, we're not by the things that I need. He's like, I need food and I need toys, and they're both upstairs.
He just licked my mic.
Yep.
So
that's
he
going to be really
everyone.
tasty.
That's going to be super tasty. So this is what I always say at the end. Until next time, friends, find that friend that's easy and reliable, because without our friends, who would we be?
Yay.
Thanks for listening to Best Forevers. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and of course, share with a friend. Please be sure to follow Best Forevers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Best Forevers Pod, and I'm at Dr. Alysa Lucas on Twitter. You can always find the podcast webpage for more information at bestforeverspod.com, and share your stories of friendship by emailing me at bestforeverspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support the movement to love on our friends more, check out the podcast on patreon.com/bestforeverspod. Now, friends, check out this recommended podcast that you must get in your ear holes immediately.
Hey, Christy, what do we talk about on our podcast?
Well, Ashley, we talk about all kinds of weird stuff.
Like aliens.
And ghosts.
And cults.
And cryptids.
And witches.
And murders.
Yeah, even sometimes murders. Basically, we talk about all kinds of weird shit.
Oh, I already said that.
Oh.
So yeah, if you like weird topics, feminist rants, and the occasional F-bomb, you should listen to us.
We post new episodes every other Monday.
Find us online at thatsweird.org.
And subscribe to That's Weird on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts.